Now, after collecting baseline data for new products and historical data for existing products, the next step is to do a statistical forecasting. Now, let's understand what statistical forecasting is. Statistical forecasting is the process of predicting future demand by analyzing past data and identifying patterns or trends. It uses mathematical and statistical techniques such as averages, moving averages, regression analysis, or even time series analysis to make informed estimates about what is likely to happen in the future. In simple terms, it's like looking at historical numbers, such as past customer orders or seasonal trends, and using them to make an educated guess about future demand. For example, if a beverage company sees that ice cream sales increase by 30% every summer, statistical forecasting helps them predict how much ice cream they should produce for next summer. The main advantage of statistical forecasting is that it provides data-driven predictions, reducing guesswork and helping businesses plan production, inventory, and resources more accurately. Now, it is important to understand that statistical forecasting alone does not always give a complete or accurate picture of future demand. This is because statistical tools rely entirely on past data, which cannot capture unexpected events or changes in the market. For example, statistical forecasting does not know if a competitor is planning to launch new products, or if your company is offering promotions or discounts during a specific period, or if there are significant market developments, or if unusual weather patterns might affect demand. These types of judgmental or situational information are outside the scope of statistical models, and this is often a limitation of relying solely on statistical forecasting. To overcome this limitation, it is crucial to involve market experts and key decision-makers who can provide their insights and override the statistical forecast wherever necessary. This process of adjusting and refining forecasts using expert knowledge is called demand planning. In demand planning, inputs come mainly from the sales, marketing, and product management teams, as they have the best understanding of market dynamics, customer behavior, and upcoming business actions. For instance, if a statistical forecast for face masks had been done before the COVID-19 pandemic, the numbers would have been very low, based purely on historical sales data. However, market experts who understood the potential impact of the pandemic would have predicted a massive surge in demand. Similarly, consider a popular instant noodles brand. A statistical forecast might show stable growth based on past sales, but if there are legal issues or negative market news that could affect future demand, only the experts aware of these situations can adjust the forecast accurately. Hence, while statistical forecasts provide a baseline or starting point, they achieve their true value only when combined with expert inputs during the demand planning process. Now let's understand what is demand planning. Demand planning is essentially a collaborative meeting where the statistical forecasts are reviewed, discussed, and adjusted as needed. In this meeting, the demand planner, sales, marketing, product management, and leadership teams all contribute their insights. Once the plan is finalized and approved by the leadership team, it becomes a core input for the next step in S&OP, which is supply planning. By combining statistical analysis with judgmental inputs, organizations can create a much more accurate and actionable plan, ensuring that production, inventory, and supply decisions align with real market needs. Now let's come to our example of laptop, where David does statistical forecasting, and to simplify understanding, let's assume business growth in existing product will remain same in new year. David sees pattern in the past and simply uses simple average method to come up with statistical forecast. Finally, demand planner David plans a monthly demand planning meeting where demand planner Mr. David leads the meeting, and invitees are product management leader Mr. Patrick, who is accountable for his numbers, sales management leader Miss Sonia, who is accountable to review statistical forecasts and provide suggestions to override where needed, Based on this data and David's statistical model, he came up with a plan that shows a combination of new launch and phase-out products information, as well as existing products' statistical forecast, as shown on the screen. While meeting starts with the numbers, Miss Sonia confirms that there is a promotional event that will be conducted in the last quarter within major cities, and also discounts for corporate employees will be offered, and she asks David to revisit the last quarter's plan by increasing 30% sales in the forecasted numbers for business laptop. Mr. Patrick also thinks that this discount will help to boost high-end gaming laptop sales in Q3, and he also understands that there will be vacation period for students, and he also asks David to revisit last 3 months' demand to 50 quantity each month. Now, taking those inputs, David modifies the plan as shown on the screen as consensus forecast. The plan is then formally shared with sales and product management leaders over an email for approval. Both of these leaders approve these numbers formally to move ahead. Mr. David shares this plan with the supply planning team, and here demand planning takes a pause with final approved demand numbers in place. I hope you understood demand planning process and the difference between forecasting and demand planning. Let's talk about next step in S&OP further.